everyone. Today's episode is about healing, awareness, and how your inner thoughts, your inner world can affect your daily life and even your decisions and thoughts. Let's introduce Mona. Mona Fogel. She's an expert. She's been in this journey for more than 20 years. So how are you, Mona?
Hi, I'm very good. Thank you
Good,
for having me.
good. I'm very happy to see you again.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. We will share some knowledge for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like how would you like to introduce yourself for the
Yeah. So my name is Mona and I do a lot of healing work, energy
Mm.
healing, so quantum healing. And for those who that sounds a little bit too far out, I always say like, okay, I help you to actually release mental,
Hmm.
emotional or physical loops, like something you're stuck in, some patterns, and to just guide you back to your natural self so you can thrive actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. And if you looked back like 10 to 20 years ago, Mona's now and Mona versus that
Yeah, it
Mona.
was very, very different. I would say
Totally.
like I mean, my journey started about like 15 years ago, something like that.
Wow.
So, 20 years ago, I think I was very disconnected from myself, from my
Oh.
emotions, very
Uh-huh.
numb, very ignorant as well to a certain
Mm.
degree because I didn't know who I was or what was going on within myself.
Mm-hmm.
And today I'm way more embodied. I'm like authentic. I allow myself to be me, and I learned a lot along the way.
You learned a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
It must be. So, was it very hard, like going through everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in the beginning, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
not, I mean, there's still sometimes phases in life that kind of like surprise you and
Surprise you.
are like challenging, let's say like this. But definitely, I mean, facing all your fears, all your traumas, all your pain is
Mm.
quite a journey where you need a brave heart for. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned a lot about quantum healing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want to just let everybody knows what is quantum healing and
Mm-hmm.
what is healing in a
Mm-hmm.
simple words, like, what are you going to tell them?
Yeah, well, I always say like my sessions are kind of like similar to hypnosis or guided meditation,
Mm.
but there's much more happening in the background. So,
Yeah.
what we actually do is we create a space where you feel safe and where
Mm-hmm.
you're relaxed. So, you're more in contact with your body and your subconsciousness because everything is stored in the subconsciousness. And then we have access to that. And then when we access that, we see where are the blockages. So, they can be mental, they
Yeah.
can be emotional, they can be
Emotional.
physical, and then we go into the block,
Mm-hmm.
clear it, but I also always go to the root cause of the
The root
problem.
cause.
So
Yeah.
it's not just symptom treatment, it is really like we're pulling the plug where it actually was created. So most of my sessions lead to inner child healing because most of the things happen when we're children, but with some people I even go into past lives and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but on the other hand, I also had clients who just wanted to make more money and we were expanding the energy field, and that
Interesting.
happened too, you know, like I always say it's quantum healing because we can jump into past, we can jump into the future,
Future.
we can work with what is here right now, and there
Mm.
are infinite possibilities to actually
Mm.
work with
Like
that.
current situation, maybe someone is facing yeah, currently they're facing difficult time,
Mm-hmm.
grief, let's say, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So sometimes they come to you and they know the problem, but what about those who doesn't know, who's not aware of what is it exactly?
Well, I think like, I
Mm.
mean, clients who come to me, they want to work on something, you know,
Something.
they know at least something is not quite right and they have at least an idea. But I always let the body and the system speak. So even if they have an idea of like, I don't know, I have a problem with my boss, you know,
Mm.
I don't know, there's a communication issue, I don't feel seen, I don't feel heard. And when we go into that,
Mm-hmm.
it's often not really related to the situation at work. It's often a situation that caused
Maybe.
it much earlier, you know, that we
Yeah.
didn't feel heard or seen
Mm.
like years
Years
before.
before.
So it's just repeating actually the pattern.
Yeah. That's why you mentioned the inner child is the most important
Yeah, exactly.
thing we should work and pay attention to
Yeah.
it, right?
Hmm.
Oh, wow, that interesting. So, I was curious about like when did your healing journey and
Hmm.
awareness like actually really begin?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a while
That's a
ago.
deep question.
Yeah, so I mean,
Hmm.
I would say I was always super intuitive and I always had an access to that.
Mhm.
I always knew things. I don't know why,
Oh,
like
oh.
this intuitive connection.
Mhm.
But the real journey started like 15 years ago. My dad called me and invited me to come to India, and I did an Ayurvedic treatment
Wow.
for 3 weeks. So it was a
Mhm.
physical cleanse. And that was the whole journey, because from there I started doing yoga on a regular basis, then meditation
Meditation.
came, then coaching, then I started drinking medicine in 2016 quite intensively, and then everything kind of like ramped up from there and added and opened up my path
And then
actually.
this is where you start helping others, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
slowly.
Slowly,
In the
yeah.
first place, it was more my own healing journey,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
And then at some point, like, you start, helping here and
Helping
there. And
here,
then at
yeah.
some point, I switched
Yeah.
completely.
Because it's familiar, it's something you went through.
Yeah.
So that, yeah.
Yeah.
Therefore, you become an expert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're enjoying it, all right?
Yeah,
I'm,
I
I'm
love
pretty
it.
sure. You love it, actually, yeah?
Yeah.
So if you want to, like, how do you explain the energy, the quantum healing, and this topic smoothly and briefly, like for
Yeah.
anyone else, let's say?
Yeah, I mean, I know many people have
Practically, yeah, yeah,
difficulties with
yeah,
understanding
yeah.
energy, and it's a little
Energies,
bit too woo-woo or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
But I mean, everything is energy, right?
yeah,
So the physical body, this chair, this
exactly,
microphone,
exactly,
the way how I speak to you,
exactly,
like it has a very different energy. If I would now scream at you, it would have a very different energy,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So, and I think everyone, even though people think like, I don't know what energy is and I don't know how to connect with that, but everyone has this feeling when you step into a room. And do you feel comfortable or
Yeah,
uncomfortable?
or uncomfortable,
So
yeah,
you perceive the
yeah,
energy of the room. And I mean, temperature is also an energy. Something is hot, something is cold,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So yeah, it's just everything is energy. It just has a different density.
yeah.
And I think people have a different ability to
Exactly,
perceive
to
it.
perceive it,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And maybe sometimes it's just a question of language, I have the
A
feeling.
language, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Even some people give you, like, there is a sentence you can say, he gave me a bad energy. I don't
Yeah.
like this. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Some people, yeah, everyone, I guess, have an energy like we carry it,
For
right?
sure, yeah.
For sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
100%.
I hope it's positive.
Yeah.
I hope it's positive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So we all know that stress, fear, anxiety, maybe overthinking, like, can make us feel pain in our body, or can make us feel sick, even
Yeah.
sick, without a medical reason.
Yeah.
And it happens with
Yeah.
everyone. Yeah. So if our thoughts, I think it's if our thoughts can make us feel pain or feel tired, then also it's possible that our thoughts can make us feel better.
Of course. Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
like, how can you? Yeah.
So if you think about it from a perspective of like different energies have a different density, right? So
Yeah.
our physical body is like materia, right? So it's
Yeah.
very dense. But then we also have our emotions, which we already can't touch or see, or like where are they? I mean, we feel them, but it's not tangible. And then we also have our thoughts, and then we have a soul, and then there's energy. So it gets subtler and subtler and subtler. And if you think about like how creation works in this universe, it always comes from the subtle realm towards the gross. So you have an idea and then you execute it. So someone had an idea to design this chair,
Yeah.
and now this chair is here, but this chair won't go back into the ether, right? It won't
Yeah.
dissolve. So
Yeah.
the flow of pure creation is always from the most subtle to the most gross to the material. It doesn't mean that these layers can't influence each other, because they can.
They can.
Example, you are in a mind funk, you have like a thought, and then you do something physical, you go running. Out of the
Yeah.
sudden, your mind clears, right? So it can also influence the levels in a different direction. But the pure flow of creation is always from the most subtle to the most gross. And mind, I mean, one of the spiritual laws, I mean, actually the very first spiritual law
Yeah.
is the universe is
Universe
mental.
is meant, yeah.
So that means everything is mind based, it's consciousness that perceives itself, and we create with our mind, right? So when we think positively, we create positive
Positive
emotions.
emotions,
When we
positive
think,
results.
yeah, when we think negatively, we create negative emotions.
So we
So
attract.
yeah, of course, we're
Of course.
influencing our state of mind, our state of being. And yes, of course, there are also moments where we go, I don't know, into a situation, out of a sudden we feel something bad, right? So the emotion was there before the thought, right? So, but then I think the biggest task is then actually just to allow yourself to feel and to come back to your
To
emotions.
your
And I think
emotion.
that is the biggest problem we have these days, because
Mm.
we're not in contact with our
Yeah,
emotions,
we
and
kept it inside.
yeah, we
Just
don't know how to
keep it.
feel actually, especially the uncomfortable
This is
ones.
how they raised us
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's nothing either, you know. It's
yeah.
very hard to, especially when some people they're trying, to escape, like watching TV for hours and hours, or even they keep sometimes they keep themselves busy
Hmm.
during work to just escape from something.
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
think that's the biggest problem in our
Mm.
society today,
Mm-hmm.
because we distract ourselves, we
Mm.
suppress the emotions,
Mm.
we go shopping, we watch TV, we
Yeah, yeah,
eat,
yeah,
we do all of these other things
yeah.
to not be present with what is. And when this emotion in the body is not felt, it gets stored somewhere, right?
Somewhere in your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I always say to my clients, like, imagine emotions are like waves in the ocean. They just want to flow through us. They just want to be
Mm.
felt.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're tensing up and we're saying like, no, I don't want
I
to
don't
feel
want to
this,
feel it.
or I hold on to this, like the water can't flow. We're becoming like a dam. We're stopping the water to flow. So, you can only store a certain amount.
Exactly.
Otherwise,
Exactly.
something explodes.
It's
That's why people have emotional, I don't know, outbursts. Or if it gets really, really stored in the body, disease will happen
disease.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think that's also the reason for like all autoimmune
Yeah.
diseases, that
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
Western medicine don't have any
Yeah. Yeah.
explanation why it's there,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah. The immune diseases, by the way. Yeah. And
Yeah.
even, with alopecia, if you have this is caused from stress.
Yeah.
And yeah, people who have like
Yeah.
chest pain, and they
Exactly.
do check up, but there is nothing.
Yeah. I mean, it's all
Yeah.
very much related to the nervous system as well, because the
Hmm.
nervous system, especially the vagus nerve, is responsible for so many
The vagus nerve.
functions in the
Yeah, yeah,
body,
yeah,
and that the
yeah,
organs are working in a
yeah.
proper way. And if you're constantly in stress, in one of these trauma responses
Mm,
like fight,
mm, mm,
flight, freeze, or fawn, then you're like under constant pressure
mm,
and
mm,
stress. And of course, your body doesn't work properly then.
because
So,
your
yeah.
brain will send signs to all of your
Yeah.
body, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you need to fix something. You need to fix something. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you kept it inside.
Yeah.
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 Do you have like can you give me like a real example? One of,
Mm-hmm.
if you remember one of your
Mm-hmm.
clients?
Yeah.
Mm,
So for example, I had a client just recently. He
mm,
had a lot of fears actually. So he was very fear-based in
mm-hmm.
all of the actions, and he was suffering from lack of sleep. He had really troubles to
Mm.
sleep properly. And
Let's
of
see.
course, if you
Oh,
don't sleep, like you're not rested, you're really on
you
edge,
won't
and your nervous
function well.
system,
Yeah,
yeah, you're not
yeah, you're
functioning
not
at all. I
functioning.
mean, you as a mom, you know.
Yeah.
But when you're a mom, at least you have the hormones, to
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
you
the
going.
hormones, and there is a reason that
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
can't
exactly.
sleep and you don't know why.
Yeah, so it's very different.
Mm,
And like we had a couple of sessions, and we were releasing more and more, like, stored emotions from his childhood, where he didn't
mhm,
feel seen, where he didn't feel supported, where he felt alone.
mhm,
And like the origin point of that led
mhm.
actually back to a moment where he was as a child in his room, and he was afraid to fall asleep because he thought there was a monster in the wardrobe.
No way.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, children are
Mm.
very psychic.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
are very sensitive. They're very
Mm,
open. So they perceive energies. Yeah.
mm.
And just because your child says, "Oh, mommy, I see something there," and you can't see this anymore, doesn't mean
Oh,
that's not true.
so we don't have
So,
to ignore.
exactly, it's
Mm,
very important to validate what our children are perceiving, what they're feeling, because when you say, like, no, it's not there, this
Mm-hmm.
child immediately thinks like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I did something wrong, so I shut this channel actually down.
Oh,
And we are all
okay.
very psychic.
Mm-hmm.
We all have
Mm-hmm.
these senses, but we all have closed the doors. And the more inner work you do, the more
Mm.
you open those doors as well. It's a beautiful side effect. You become way more sensitive. So I'm hypersensitive these days.
You're
I perceive a
hypersensitive,
lot,
okay?
yeah, in the room. But yeah, so you have to learn how to come back to this. We all have these natural gifts, and that was very beautiful to see, because the more we dove deeper into the topics and released the unfelt emotions,
Unfelt
the
emotions.
more his whole system could relax, the more his nervous system could relax and can sleep again.
Yeah, they can overcome to
Yeah,
this point. Yeah.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
what about those kids that maybe traumatized or maybe a trauma? I heard that your brain protects you and you tend to
Yeah,
forget
for
things.
sure. So people who don't have any memories about their
Yeah,
childhood, it's a
yeah.
classical sign of trauma.
Really?
Yeah, because
Mm.
you just like push everything to the side. I
Mm-hmm.
used to have that too. But to all parents out there, don't worry, we all make mistakes, right? And I also truly believe that, children come here, or we all come here to
Mm.
experience certain things because we want to learn lessons.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Every pain has also a good side for it. We learn resilience, we learn
Mm.
empathy, like
Mm-hmm.
we grow as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a question, like, do we get stuck in the pain,
Ah, yeah.
and
Oh,
in
yeah.
the victimhood mentality,
Mm.
or do we empower ourselves and grow from what happened and
Mm.
don't make it our story and attach to that? So I think for all parents out there,
Mm-hmm.
just be very aware what your kids are
Yeah, kids are
feeling, validate
feeling.
their emotions, give them space to that. And if you don't know how to do that yourself,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're little
Yeah, yeah.
mini-me's, they copy you,
Yeah.
right? Then maybe get some support and some help,
Support, outside support.
yeah, because even if you as a parent just learn yourself
Mm-hmm.
how to be more in touch with yourself and
Mm-hmm.
how to regulate yourself, your child will learn that automatically, because it sees, oh, mommy or daddy is different, so
Mm.
I am changing
Mm-hmm.
automatically.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very, like, we don't have to teach that, we just have to be the role model for
The
this.
role model,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, for them because
Yeah,
they're copying.
exactly.
Yeah, they're copying the
Yeah,
adults. Yeah.
yeah.
So you think that maybe traumatized kids when they're adult, they might have like any features, any what do you, any
Yeah, for sure.
behaviors or?
Yeah, of
Mm.
course. I mean, I think the way how you can see it, of course, is how people interact with other human beings.
Mm. Mm.
Because trauma happens in a relationship most of the time. Of course, there are
Yeah,
also
yeah.
events like a car accident or something like
Uh-huh.
that.
Uh-huh.
But most of the important time was the time when we're children, from like, birth or even before,
Mm-hmm.
till like 6, 8, you say, where we literally get programmed with everything that happens
Mm-hmm.
around us, to us, and this is where we build our personality. And
It's
yeah, you
true.
can see it,
It's
of
true.
course.
Yeah.
Are people
Certain
able, yeah, are
behaviors.
people able to have loving and caring relationships in
Mm,
their
mm,
lives? Are
mm.
they healthy? It reflects back in all areas, actually, everything. So I always say, like, inner work is the secret key to success in all areas of your life, because at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, it comes back to a block you have within yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So how if for those who are listening to us,
Yeah.
how can they manage their thoughts to,
Mm.
you know, to just have a better life at
Yeah.
least?
I think the easiest is to start to meditate, to be
To
honest.
meditate,
And it
really.
doesn't have to be a crazy hour or something like
Uh-huh,
that.
uh-huh,
Just sit down for 5 and
uh-huh.
just come back to your breath and actually just notice what is happening in your body, notice your thoughts. And that might be very, yeah,
A
difficult in
little
the
bit
beginning, because
very
you
tense. Yeah.
notice actually how much you are thinking, what are you thinking, and it can be very disturbing, maybe even. But the more you do it, the more you practice
The
this,
more
the
you
better
practice.
it becomes. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And then also allowing yourself to feel, right? Like if
Yeah. To
something comes
connect with
up,
your
yeah, just allow it to be there. I think the biggest mistake that what we do is with
mm-hmm.
uncomfortable emotions like sadness, anger, grief,
Mm-hmm.
or something like that, we start actually judging ourselves for feeling that in the
Yeah,
moment.
it's
So
true.
what happens is we put more negative thoughts on top of the negative feeling, and thoughts creates emotions. So we create even more and we make it much bigger than it
Wow.
is. Yeah, rather than just
Uh,
being present with it. Because there's a study about it. If you're 100% present with an emotion, it clears itself after around 90 seconds. It's not that long, you know?
yeah.
And imagine how often you have been in a situation that upset you and you've been there for hours or maybe even days because
Maybe
you're
days, months, by
circling
the
in
way.
your
Yeah,
head and like
yeah,
going
yeah.
over. It's such a waste of energy.
Waste of energy. Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
That's why they feel exhausted,
exactly.
tired, or maybe sick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why they're saying if there's nothing in the world can hurt you as much as your thoughts, and there
Exactly.
is nothing in the world can make you feel
Mm.
better as your thoughts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's very hard to, to manage it.
But it's possible.
It is
And even
possible, right?
just a
Uh-huh.
little tip, if you tell yourself
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
hard, it's
Yeah.
gonna be hard, you know? So you just
Oh,
say it's easy.
because you're sending signs to
Yeah, of
your
course.
brain. It's
Yeah.
hard, so it's
Yeah,
hard.
so
Yeah.
you're the creator of your reality. So say it's
You're the
easy.
career. I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
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 Hmm.
Even when the grief, you can make it easier, right?
I mean, of
Of
course,
course, it's hard.
it's
Yeah.
hard to feel those emotions. It's
Mm,
difficult.
mm.
It's, let's say it's not hard, it's challenging.
Yeah, it's
But
challenging.
yet, once you manage to
Mm-hmm.
feel such a powerful emotion,
Mm-hmm.
you also feel way more empowered yourself
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you feel
I
like,
believe.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
I could hold this, you
Yes.
know? I mean, if we like we are designed to feel, otherwise we would have not
We will have
have
not been humans,
emotions.
or yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's very simple like that.
Like they should take your time. It's okay to cry and feel sad,
Yeah.
but you need to overcome
Mm.
because we're all gonna die
Yeah.
at once, right?
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean, I think children are actually such a beautiful example because they have
Yeah.
no filters.
Yeah.
When they're angry, you see it immediately. They express
Yeah.
it, you know, they stomp their
Mm,
feet, they scream,
mm.
they start crying immediately, but they also switch quite quickly again
Yeah, yes,
because they
true.
discharge and then it's okay. But if we tell them not to be angry and not to be sad,
Uh-huh.
they stop to just feel and be with it, right? And that's what
Yeah.
we do as adults.
As
We
adults, yeah.
suppress those emotions. Yeah.
Exactly. We suppress our emotions.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So, like, how does our inner state affect our
Hmm.
daily,
Yeah.
life?
It affects everything.
Right? Because some people they
Mhm.
think it's not affecting, the daily.
No, it's
Yeah, it
everything.
is.
So, what I learned very on in my healing journey
Mm-hmm.
was that I noticed the more I heal myself, the
Mm-hmm.
more I change my inner world, the more
Mm-hmm.
magic happens on the outside world. So, everything is a mirror, everything is a reflection. How I feel inside will be reflected to me on the outside screen. So
Wow.
if I wake up thinking the world hates me, I hate my job, life is horrible, imagine what a day you're gonna have, right? Versus, oh my gosh, today is gonna be the best day of my life and I have so much fun. It's a completely different energy, it's a completely different mindset. And because we're entering the day like this, we also attract things like that.
Yeah,
We're in
true.
the mood like this, like we see literally people like this through this lens,
Mm.
but it's a very distorted reality. It's a very distorted perception of reality. So the more you clean yourself, or
Mm-hmm.
not clean, but the more you heal
You
yourself and you
heal.
work on
Yeah. Yeah.
yourself, the more you will see, oh, wait a minute, my perception on this completely changed, or
Completely
I'm
change.
in a
Or I was
situation.
wrong, maybe, or
Exactly.
yeah.
Or I'm in a situation that used to upset me and now I'm not bothered
Oh,
anymore.
yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it happens.
exactly.
Yeah, you will be like
Yeah.
this. Oh,
You're
I
way more
like it.
calm, you're peaceful, and yeah, it's life is
Your
beautiful.
life is beautiful. Life,
Yeah.
yeah, it has more challenges, so you can just go and.
Yeah.
So how do
Mm-hmm.
suppressed emotion show up in our bodies?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you can
Um,
give examples, or
yeah.
yeah.
As tension, for
Oh,
example. So if people are very tense in their neck, for example,
oh
I
my
used to
gosh.
do that a lot. Hold a lot. So of course it's stress. So like you holding it literally in that body. Like you can even see it in
Yeah.
the posture of a person. If people are
People
like
who are sitting
this,
like this.
or if they're
Yeah.
like super accurate and super straight,
Super.
like they're
Yeah. Perfect.
perfectionists,
Yeah. Perfectionist.
so like you see a lot in the way how a person moves in their body, how they express
Mm-hmm.
themselves, the posture. So yeah, tension is one thing, but then of course, like it can also express in other things, like I don't know, you
Chest,
have.
maybe heavy, heavy.
Yeah, heaviness on the chest. You can't really
Heaviness to breathe.
breathe,
Yeah, yeah,
like
I
you feel
heard this.
heavy in general,
Mm.
lack of energy. You have maybe even physical symptoms to a
Physical
certain
symptoms.
degree.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
like pain sometimes.
Pain,
Yeah, yeah,
fatigue,
yeah, yeah,
stomach
stomach pain.
pain, maybe problems with your digestion, for example,
Mm.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it influences everything.
Yeah. So the posture, like you said,
Yeah.
people who tend to sit like this and
Yeah, super accurate.
super accurate.
Yeah.
Huh? Princess Diana,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, yeah,
They think. Do you think like are they trying to be a center of attention or just trying to be like
yeah.
everything's perfect on me?
Mm. I think they're actually very insecure inside.
Insecure inside.
Yeah, so they try to cover this with this perfectionism.
Wow, wow.
And perfectionism is actually, it's a behavior that we see very much in our society because everyone
Mm.
is thriving for more and better and like more successful and stuff like that. And it has a little bit of a tendency from narcissism, to be
Narcissism, yeah,
honest,
yeah, yeah.
because I just want to be better and better and better.
Mm,
And I
mm.
don't allow myself to be vulnerable. I don't allow
Wow.
myself to have flaws. I don't
Flaws.
allow myself to be who I am. And nothing in the world is perfect.
Nothing in the
Nothing
world is
in
perfect.
nature is perfect. So
Yep,
it's a
yep,
complete illusion
yep.
that we can just drop, to be honest. Just
Wow.
be yourself. And the beauty of it is also like if you're authentic and if you're just yourself, like you naturally also attract the right people in your life, the right opportunities and
Mm.
everything. So everything flows much better, anyways.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people they're talking about narcissist people, how to
Mm.
protect yourself from the.
Mm. Mm. Well, it's a difficult question because narcissistic people think they don't have a
Narcissistic people,
problem.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you can only help someone who is aware about that. But I believe in evolution. So I think like there might be a moment where people think up or
Hmm.
wake up. And, this word narcissism is thrown around a lot, right? So I would always be a little bit careful with it because we all have certain traits of that to a certain degree because we grow up in this society.
Hmm.
And I would just say, like, okay, what can I do to be a better person,
A better
right?
person.
And if I am in peace with myself and I have proper boundaries, I don't care
I
what
don't
other
care.
people are doing,
Yeah,
let
yeah.
them be, let them live their life. And I rather be at peace with myself and be an inspiration for those who are open to it.
Exactly.
And the people they don't,
They
or the
don't.
people
Yeah.
who don't want to change, you can't change them anyways.
They have to be aware, like they want to change,
Yeah,
or there
yeah,
is something they need to
yeah.
fix it because they keep hurting everyone around them. Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you're just surrounded by a person like
Mm-hmm.
this, I think it's more your task to love yourself more and maybe go into a different direction, to be honest.
Oh,
To
even if
walk away,
even if she or he are a very close
I think so,
part
yeah.
of
Yeah,
family.
of course,
Yeah.
I mean, or you
Mm.
manage to grow as much that you're above this
Mm.
and you can handle it to a certain degree. And when you feel it's too much, you take your distance
You
again.
take your distance.
Yeah.
The good, the best advice actually.
Yeah.
Since you wrote this topic, I wrote some.
Yeah.
Actually, you wrote some and you posted some tips and advice. I really like it. You were talking about perfectionism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you were talking about also narcissistic people.
Mm-hmm.
And there is something I really like. You have a photo which is taken 2015.
Yeah.
You, I wish if I could show. Yeah,
Yeah.
they will find the link.
They can look on my Instagram.
Yeah. You can have a look at your Instagram.
Yeah.
But you said the last year I was clubbing like a pro. Weekends meant night on the dance floor and drinks, noise, distraction. This is, distraction. So
Yeah.
you know, you mean for people like what you were trying to tell, like for those who's just trying to, not drinking occasionally, or keep drinking, clubbing every day or every 2-3 days,
Yeah.
and like they're running out of, they're escaping, or you mean,
Yeah.
right?
I
Because,
mean, it's very funny. You know, I told myself for a long time
yeah.
that I was always just having fun. And I really had a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
I
of
really
course, of
enjoyed
course,
it.
of course.
But the more I did the healing work, the more I also had to realize that I was running away from certain problems, from certain emotions. It was like, for me, going partying and dancing, especially,
Yeah.
that was actually my therapy back then. Because when I
Oh,
was moving my body,
of
I
course,
could
of
move the
course, yeah,
energy
of
and I
course.
could release. So
Yeah.
that's why I was really partying so much, because I was waking up, I was like, oh my gosh, I had so much
I
fun.
have
I
so much
feel so good.
fun.
I want to go
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
right? Because it
yeah,
was a release for me,
yeah.
literally. But yes, there are, of course, many people who are just distracting
Distracting
themselves. They're
themselves.
numbing things down because they don't want to feel what's underneath. And I think many people are also really scared to face themselves.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
But you know, like
protecting.
there's nothing, like you are already with yourself. So there's nothing
There's
scary
nothing
about it.
scary.
It's
Yeah.
anyways there, you know? So the earlier you
Maybe
do it, the
they
better
don't
it
want
is.
to admit there is a
Yeah, of
problem.
course. You know, if there are strong things, there's a lot of emotions like shame or guilt, which are
Mm,
very
mm,
heavy,
mm,
very low on vibration. It's not easy to handle those. I understand that, of
mm.
course. But the only way to transform is to feel it, to go through it. There's no
You just have
bypassing.
to go through it. And you
Yeah.
also mentioned if in the first of the beginning of the journey, if you didn't fight, I mean, if you didn't find it hard,
Mm-hmm.
then it means you're not very,
Yeah.
attached, or you're not actually
Doing the
doing a
work.
problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
doing the work.
Yeah, I think like if your healing journey is very easy and fluffy and you're not really doing the
You're
work
not,
because you're not
yeah,
really
yeah.
looking at your shadows, not really looking at your issues, because it is painful to face your
Yeah,
dark sides.
yeah, yeah,
There's no way around that, to be honest. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So how, one of your, if you can give me an example, one
Mm-hmm.
of your clients, like, are they like this? Some of them?
I think I think when you work with me, you don't have a chance
Oh, you don't have a
to
chance.
sneak around, because I will always bring you back. Like my work is
Mm,
really standing for deep transformational work. I'm not scratching the surface. We go to the root cause of it, and we
mm,
really, switch it there. It's very important to me that we're very honest with each other, and I will always point out where you have a blind spot and where you are in resistance and
mm.
trying to find an excuse or like finding a way to
Finding a way
distract or
to distract.
something to not really look where you
Mm.
need to go, because I think that's my role in this work, right? If you want to
Exactly.
see results,
Exactly.
I'm not there to sugarcoat it, to be honest.
I like it.
Of course I will guide you there in a gentle way,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, at some point I will be
Maybe
honest with you.
outside for a coffee or how,
Yeah.
but
For sure.
not during my lessons, huh?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I like it actually. So, I just want to know, what kind of problems do people usually, come to
Mm-hmm.
you with,
Yeah.
especially,
Yeah, I mean, it's very diverse, you
of
know.
course, of
Some
course.
people have issues with their relationship. I don't know, their marriage is
Mm,
falling apart
mm,
and they really want to save that, for
mm,
example.
mm-hmm,
Other people have like really physical issues, like, I don't know, the sleep
mm,
problems, like my
mm,
one client. Other people are on medications
mm.
for
Years and years, yeah?
depression.
Oh,
So I help people to get off medication within
mm.
3 months, to really like feel themselves again and be happy and fall in love with life again. And then some people just want to make more money. It's also possible,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Some people want to be more successful or take the
Have
next
a
step in their
career
career
growth,
and see
yeah.
where the blockage is there. So it really goes into every area of your life. If you want to go to the next step, or if you feel like you have a block, you can come and
You
you can
can
work
come and you can work
work
on
with me.
it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so okay, this is the question. Healing, work,
Mm-hmm.
and success, the
Yeah.
relationship. Like, from your experience, how
Mm-hmm.
can inner work,
Mm-hmm.
you know, support my career growth,
Mm-hmm.
or just a better, have a better,
Mm-hmm.
atmosphere in my work environment, or I just want to generate more income, or
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be fulfilled rich.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, as I said before, is really the secret key to everything
Mm-hmm.
in terms of success. So imagine you really want to I don't know, climb the next step in your career
Yeah,
ladder,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But there's one particular issue that you're facing. Maybe it is a
Mm-hmm.
communication issue, or you don't feel seen as much.
Mm.
You can't present yourself as
Mm.
you wish you, like, as you wanted,
Oh, yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And that's what I mean. Like, the problem is not in that environment. The problem started much earlier.
yeah,
And if
yeah.
you heal that, you won't face that in your current reality anymore. So,
Mm.
of course, it can be boom, the explosion to like the next step and your success in whatever area you're in,
Mm.
actually. So it is very much related to that. Also, like, everything is energy, money is also just energy,
Exactly, money is energy.
So the higher you raise your vibration, the more you expand your field, the more you then also attract that.
Yeah, the
I mean, it's a bit more complex than that, because then karma comes also into play. So if
yeah,
people have
yeah.
to take certain lessons, go through certain phases in their life
Mm-hmm.
because of certain karmic contracts, then of course
Of
this
course,
is
you
also
need to.
there. But it's also something you can work on, to be honest. Yeah.
Of course, because I think if we change the way we think,
Mm-hmm.
maybe we can open up, new
Mm-hmm.
opportunities. If you have a problem in communication, maybe
Mm-hmm.
you're not presenting yourself, your skills very well,
Mm-hmm.
but you are unaware of this, maybe. So I guess, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
So any advice you can give in this?
Come and work with me.
Come and work with me. Exactly. If
No,
you
but
want to be filthy rich, just come to Mona. I will
no.
be her assistant.
No, I
I'm
mean,
joking.
like,
Yeah.
the first step is always awareness, right?
Awareness, of
So
course, of course.
noticing what is not working, right?
Mm-mm.
And then being very aware, like, okay, how does it make you actually feel? Like, what is happening? Is there frustration?
Frustration, for
Is there
example.
like a feeling of guilt, shame, sadness, anger, whatever there
Uh-huh.
is?
Uh.
And then really like allowing yourself to feel that and to be you with this authentically. And then if you want to go deeper, you can come and we
You
can.
can, of course, because it have,
Yeah.
more detail
Yeah.
than detail. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah, you posted something like, I really like it. If you can't slow down,
Mm.
so it's a sign of being disconnected from
Mm-hmm.
your feelings. Yeah,
Yeah.
you mentioned this
Mm-hmm.
just right now, but like if you can give me more,
Yeah.
like practical, how people like I'm no, I'm in this journey. It's been,
Mm-hmm.
a long time, for example, in a
Mm-hmm.
therapy. How can I be just disconnected? So
Mm-hmm.
of course some people came from
Mm-hmm.
they're taking medications
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
joining class with or session with a therapist.
Yeah.
Of course, you met some people like this, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you felt they're also disconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, therapy is a great tool to a
of course.
certain
Yeah, yeah.
degree, but it works mainly on the mental level. So it
Mm.
gives you a lot of insights about your
Mm-hmm.
behaviors, where it's all coming from, but it doesn't really touch the energetic layer. It doesn't really touch the
Mm.
emotional. I mean, some therapists actually combine it with different techniques, that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
but we also always need to work with the emotions, with the body, and also with the energetic plane, or at least that's my approach. That's why, like, I have also
Mm.
clients, I don't know, they're always attracting the wrong partner. And they're in this loop, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And they've done therapy, they
Uh-huh.
understand it, it's because of the relationship to their dad, and they've understand where it's
Oh,
coming from, they
yeah.
can see it
Mm.
clearly, but it's still
It's
happening.
still
Why
happening.
is it still happening? Because there is still a residue of that pattern in your system. And if you don't clear it out on all levels,
Mm-hmm.
you will keep on repeating it. So you really need to do the work on all levels. So, what I can advise is to try out different things,
Mm-hmm.
see what resonates with you,
Mm-hmm.
but try to also include to work with the body, to do some embodiment work, work with the emotions, with the mind, and then everything will shift automatically because your
Mm-hmm.
energy will shift.
The
Yeah.
energy will shift.
Yeah.
I like that. That's
Hmm.
that's what the next question about, repeating patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some people also, they're facing uncomfortable situation and
Hmm.
it repeats again and again,
Hmm.
but even with different people, different time.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's like also attracting the different, the same partner again and
Exactly.
again.
Yeah.
But some people face, uncomfortable situation.
Hmm.
Is it so the problem here? It's inside us,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what I mean, that I help
Mm.
people with breaking through mental, emotional, physical,
Mm.
or even loops that are
Loops that,
presented
yeah,
in a
yeah, yeah.
situation. So you're always coming into the same situation with a
Mm.
certain person. Maybe you always have the same boss, but he just
Exactly.
wears a different suit.
Different.
You know, or you have a different, like the same partner, but different
Yeah.
hair color, different size. I
Different,
don't
different hair color,
you
different
know,
skin, different.
something like that.
Yeah.
So that's also like because you have an imprint to a certain pattern, and it keeps on repeating until you release it. And people often think like, oh my gosh, life is happening to me, poor me. But this
Mm.
is a victim
This is a
mentality.
victim mentality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
life is happening to you and from you.
And
So
from you.
you are creating
Mm.
it, and life is actually doing you a favor. It shows you, hi,
Right.
it's here again. You still haven't resolved it. So
Yeah.
maybe we need to go a little bit deeper to clear
Mm.
that out. And then you can experience something new.
The victim mentality. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. It's very hard to fix, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
it goes hand in hand with responsibility. The more you take responsibility and
Wow.
accountability for yourself,
Mm.
the less you are in victim mentality because
Oh.
you are the creator
Oh.
of
Oh.
everything, right? I mean, you can also say like, but yeah, if someone is abusing me, how can I be the victim, or like how can I be responsible for that?
Responsible. Yeah.
I mean, you are to a certain degree because you allow it to happen. Why are you not walking away from that situation, right?
Mm.
Like,
Mm.
yeah, people
Mm.
with clear
You
boundaries, they
choose
won't
to
experience
stay
that.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That, interesting.
Yeah. It's uncomfortable for many people to take responsibility, but
So
this is
I
the
think
key.
so,
This is
yeah.
the key, yeah. And
I
this is the
think
only
so.
way how we can change and how we can move forward, right?
There are certain behaviors that show up from, from the those who, have the victim mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have seen,
Mm-hmm. Me too.
they're irrational and irresponsible,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
responsible enough, to,
yeah.
and they just choose to stay there for years and
Mm.
years, maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
there's a spectrum of it, right?
Uh-huh,
I
uh-huh,
mean, I used to also have traits of it
uh-huh.
where I tried to blame the outside world or someone else was this
Oh,
fault,
oh, oh, yeah.
Worst case, you can also blame astrology, the planets
You
are
can,
wrong.
you can just put the blame in there.
Yeah, yeah. But the more you really take responsibility for yourself, the more
The
power you
more the
have.
more power you have, the
Yeah.
more aware, the more,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay. And so also, you have mentioned a lot about, the people pleasers.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
People pleasing
Mm-hmm.
is not a personality trait,
Mm-hmm.
So what is it? And why they're seeking to please? Why are we seeking to please
Mm-hmm.
people? I mean,
Yeah.
because,
I mean, people pleaser is
mm,
a mechanism, or it's called the fawn response
mhm,
in the trauma language.
mm,
It's often a combination of very complex trauma. So people pleasers often
mhm.
experience multiple traumas,
Multiple traumas.
multiple
Wow.
different types
Mhm.
that lead to a behavior where they
Mm,
are very aware and they make sure that everyone else always is satisfied, is good, is
mm,
like, in a good state, and they put themselves last.
mm,
So you're always taking care of your environment, you're making sure that everyone is feeling safe,
mm,
but you put yourself last, right? And it's kind of like
You put
it's
yourself
very
last.
complex because you don't really love yourself, you don't have clear boundaries. It's connected to so many things. And it's a journey. I used to be a people pleaser myself, so it's
Me
quite
too.
hard. Yeah. Right. I think, especially as a mom, it's very difficult to find the balance, right? Because you're
Yeah,
giving
yeah,
so much, and there might be
yeah,
phases, of course, where you
yeah.
give more, and then, like
We
take
have
care
for
more
me
of
time.
yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, it's a very complex thing because often we grow up in a dynamic
Mm-hmm.
where someone is taking a lot from us or
Yes.
is asking a lot from us and we giving too much,
We're giving too
right? So
much.
the balance is not there. So then later on in life we will again have similar situations, and we really need to learn how to stand up for ourselves, to have boundaries. And when we learn this,
Mm-hmm.
then
Yes.
often the trouble starts because
Of
the
course.
dynamic changes, and the people who are around
Who are,
you,
yeah,
who are
who are
used,
you?
that you are always giving, and out of the sudden you're saying no,
Yeah.
they don't really like that.
Yeah, they
So
will
it
blame you.
causes a lot of like troubles that can actually lead to for you to fall back into that
Of course,
pattern,
of course.
but you have to stay strong and keep on.
And keep going,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's very hard to, when you just made a decision,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna change, I'm gonna do,
Mm-hmm.
have
Yeah.
like a distance, they will be like, who are you?
Yeah. But the
Wow.
beauty is the more inner work you do,
Mm.
the people pleasing will automatically fade because
Oh,
like underneath of that are a
mm-hmm.
lot of emotions or like shame and guilt to, stand up for yourself, or there's a fear to speak up and things like that. But the more you release all of these emotions are actually leading to that pattern, the pattern will disappear
It will
automatically.
it automatically will
Yeah.
disappear. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you have a completely different relationship towards yourself.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. I really like it, because
Mm.
everyone was asking about this.
Mm.
Please raise this topic. Let's move to the men and healing. Men and healing,
Yeah.
as they hold their, emotions and feelings and
Mm-hmm.
inside. This is how they've been raised, I know, but
Mm-hmm.
so they find it hard to connect with their feelings and
Mm-hmm.
emotions. So, what do you think, and what do you suggest? And yeah.
Yeah, I think men
Hmm.
are just as us, women, also emotional
Yep.
beings. I would say, as per nature, in average, men are less emotional than women,
Mm-hmm.
but there are also more women who are maybe more in their mind and less
Exactly.
connected to their
Less connected.
emotions, and vice versa. So it's really individual on depending on the person, how their
Mm.
traits are, how their character strengths are, or character traits. But we all have emotions, so
Emotions.
men too.
Mm.
The problem is we don't really have a lot of role models from
Oh,
like the male
the
side
male side. Yeah.
that have an emotional maturity and an emotional intelligence that
True.
allow
True.
themselves to feel, that allow themselves to express their emotions in a healthy way. So that's the problem, because if all men or boys are raised with men who suppress their emotions, they will never see a
You never
man
see a
who is
man
really handling
who's.
that well. And I mean, I know there are really
Yeah,
great
yeah,
men
but
out there
yeah,
as
yeah,
well
yeah.
who can do that,
Mm.
but the majority is not really in touch with their emotions. So that's the problem. But man, you also need to feel. you know, I'm sorry to say it, but
Yeah, but
it
yeah,
will help you. It will help you to
yeah,
be more in peace and contact with yourself too.
of
Yeah.
course. Why are you so quiet, huh? Simi? Do you agree or disagree with this?
He
So
didn't listen on purpose.
yeah, he was. This is typically a man being a man. Being a man.
Like it's very typical. If people falling asleep or something in sessions like this, like it's the avoidance
The
mechanism. We
avoidance,
don't want to
but
hear
yeah,
this,
exactly. This is avoidance mechanism. This is exactly what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, about the the feminine energy,
Mm-hmm.
just being feminine, and can you give
Mm-hmm.
us like, uh, yeah,
Yeah, I think we all have feminine and masculine
masculine
energies
energy, yeah.
within
Mm-hmm.
ourselves, but just to a certain degree, it's different. So some women are way more feminine than others. Some
Mm.
women are more masculine, and the same applies for
As the
men,
same
actually.
applies, yeah.
So there is also a universal law that it's the law of gender, that everything has feminine and masculine energies, regardless of like what body you are in, actually.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a beautiful dance, right? It's opposites. So feminine energy is very receptive, very magnetic, like pulling things towards her, actually more soft and gentle. Whereas the masculine energy is more outwards, more
Yeah,
driven,
more
right?
driven.
And yeah,
Mm. This
yeah.
is how.
This is how the energy flows. So one is going out, the one is like receiving, and this is how it forms unity.
How, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
So how can I, how can, females can use their feminine energy,
Yeah.
and where
Yeah, it's
exactly?
interesting that you bring that up because
Yeah.
I'm just releasing actually a program for women to
Wow, very
connect
nice.
more with their emotions and their feelings. It's called She Feels, because we
She
are
feels.
very emotional
Yeah.
beings. And in this journey, I will take you on a journey to actually come into contact with yourself, first of all, again, to allow yourself to feel, but then also learn how to express it, right? Because some women can feel, but when we're in a relationship, they don't dare to speak up. They don't dare to really speak their truth,
Release.
what's
Yeah.
going on within themselves, right? And the more we do that, the more we come into our authentic power. And then we also tap into this magnetism of the feminine energy, because we have like three different centers. So here in our, like where
Yeah.
our womb is and our
Okay.
belly is like the emotional center. Then we have the heart,
The
which
heart.
is the best to live in.
Yeah.
And then there's the mind, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
ego. And most people either live from the mind or they live from the
The
emotions.
emotions.
But the journey is coming back to the heart, so we
Oh.
need to make this quiet. We need to
Uh,
clear this up
Clear this
here
up.
from all of the trauma and
Yeah.
stuff like this, so we can be in the
In
heart.
the heart.
This is the journey. And then when we're in the heart, we become very magnetic and very
Very
peaceful.
peaceful.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and this is the journey. Yeah.
I like it. When it's
Mhm.
going to be soon?
Yeah, it's starting in March. Actually, it's going to be an online
Great.
program,
Yeah,
and
nice. So
yeah,
everyone can
everyone can
join.
join.
I
Yeah,
like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really nice. So can you tell me more about the previous sessions? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like how different. Yeah, I know they're very different. You had many sessions, for here in
Yeah,
Dubai. Yeah.
yeah. So I host the different workshops.
Mm-hmm.
One is called Breaking the Loop, where I help people to identify their loop. So first of all, I explain about the concept, where it's coming from, and then we go into exercises where you can identify your loops, whether they're mental, emotional, or physical. And then you also have the opportunity through guided practice to actually break through and release them. So it's a perfect teaser for my work. You experience the work, and in a group setting, it's really nice because you see you're not the only one with
You're
that
not the only one.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
it's very beautiful. So I host this workshop, then I also host a workshop for women as an introduction
As
to the She
introduction.
Feels program, where we come into contact with our emotions, and I also host breathwork sessions here in Dubai.
Oh,
Yeah, and then I do, of course, also the one-on-one work.
so you have been in Thailand for 10 years, I guess, right?
4 or 5, yeah.
You have been in Thailand for 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
but the experience and when you started, I mean, practicing the healing and
Mm-hmm.
also supporting others, it's
Mm-hmm.
almost more than 10 years, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then you suddenly decided, of course, not suddenly, you decided to come to Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
What is, of course, there is a difference. What is the difference, and how do you feel Dubai is
I
you know?
think there couldn't be a bigger contrast to
Yeah.
living on a tropical island in Thailand to living in Dubai. But I always follow my heart.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
something like I felt the chapter on the island was for now closed. I will for sure go back at some point. But
Mm.
it felt complete, and something was calling me to come to Dubai.
To
So in
come
the
to
beginning of
Dubai, yeah.
25, it was like everywhere in conversations, and I received the vision to come
The
here.
universe is sending you signs.
Yeah, the universe
Here's
was
Dubai,
sending me.
Habibi.
Yeah, exactly.
Come to
Very
Dubai,
strong. And
Habibi.
I didn't plan it at all.
Yeah, you told
So,
me you haven't
yeah.
planned it. Yeah, you
No,
didn't
no,
plan
no.
it.
I mean, I know like the vibe of it because I used to live in
Yes,
Doha
yeah,
for a few
Doha,
months
yeah.
before.
Qatar, yeah.
But yeah, no, but I feel really good here. It's very grounding. People are
Yes.
very much in the materialistic world
Exactly,
here. It's
exactly.
very grounding for me. It's good. I like it. So far so good. And I mean, I think this work is very much needed here.
Yeah, of course, and I agree with you. That's why I asked this question.
Yeah.
um, Maybe in future,
Mm-hmm.
like, are you planning to write something? Maybe a
Mm-hmm.
book?
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
Yeah. Yeah.
good.
There are a
Yeah.
few ideas for books already in my
You
mind.
have a few ideas.
Yeah,
Nice.
but just need to sit down and finally start, to be honest.
Yeah, so we might,
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, we might read your book maybe soon.
Yeah, for like maybe it's a good reminder for me to finally
Yes,
start.
this is the universe is sending you
Thank
sign
you.
again.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
So I like how you support others, you're
Mm-hmm.
helping them,
Mm-hmm.
because when you try to fix something, or if
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to help one person, you're actually you're helping the others.
Yeah.
You're making a better community
Mm-hmm.
for better family, better.
Yeah.
So I really like that. So, like, what message you would like to leave with the listeners,
Mm.
advice,
Yeah.
tips, and so on. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think like it's really worth to do the inner work because it will not only improve the relationship you have towards yourself, but it will also improve the relationship you have to others. It will inspire maybe other people to do the
Inspire. Yeah,
same.
yeah.
So it has a huge ripple effect. I always remind my clients of that, you know, like I'm so proud of you that you're doing the work because it's not just about you, it's about really your whole environment, and people really
Exactly.
underestimate the
Exactly.
impact of it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any tips, advice in general?
Yeah, just be reflective, just be open to
Be
experience new
open. Mm.
things, try to work on yourself, really like try it out, give it a chance, and see how it resonates with you and see what effects it will have in your life. And if you don't like it, you don't have to continue, right? But
Exactly.
if you find
Exactly.
something, there's a little spark that is there, then continue the journey.
Yeah, very
Mm-hmm.
nice. Maybe we'll see you next time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we will see you next time. We will have,
Talk
more
about the book.
interesting topic. Yeah, you can see it in my eyes. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm really glad you come here and we have
Mm.
this episode. I know everyone is going to be,
Yeah.
excited to hear it. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Mona.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
very
having
much.
me.
Thank you for coming again. See
Yeah.
you soon.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.